Hello everyone. Today's story was shared with us by Aslan from Chicago. Let's listen to his story in his own words. My father is a doctor, a highly experienced surgeon. We spent most of our lives living in the Middle East, in the city of Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. My dad worked as a surgeon at the King Fahd Medical Hospital, and his career was going extremely well. Me, my brother Rehan, and my little sister Shubaila, all three of us were born there. We grew up in Riyadh. Its streets, its schools, its markets, everything felt like home to us. In many ways, we even started feeling like we belonged there more than anywhere else. But then one day, out of nowhere, my dad suddenly announced that we were moving permanently to the United States of America. We were shocked. We always knew that someday we might move back, but we never imagined that we would be leaving so suddenly. My father loved Pakistan deeply, but he also had a dream of living in America, where he believed he would have a brighter, more respected medical career. My mother strongly disagreed with the decision, but my father insisted. I've received a great surgical offer in Beverly Hills Medical Center. The kids should also experience life in our own homeland, or at least somewhere better than this. We can't stay here forever. My father already owned properties. Back home, he had two plots in Karachi's defense area, a flat in Malirkant, and now he had also purchased a three-bedroom villa in Los Angeles County. But that villa was still under construction. So until the construction finished, my father rented a fully furnished house in Orange County, California. I was not happy with this decision, neither was Rihan, nor our little 7-year-old sister. But we were not old enough to argue or change anything. Dad wanted us to complete the rest of our education in America. His close friends, relatives, and an aunt living in the US also advised him well. Before we even arrived, our school admissions were already arranged. Originally, all of us were supposed to travel together, but at the last moment, the hospital told my father that the surgeon who was supposed to replace him had run into some issues, so they requested my dad to stay for 2 more months. My mother became even more upset after hearing this, but my father assured her, we need to leave as soon as possible. 2 months of schooling won't make a big difference. Time passes quickly. Dad was extremely strict about our education. He worked hard his whole life and believed that discipline was everything. Before leaving Saudi Arabia, we all performed Umrah together, but the night we completed our Umrah, my mother had a very disturbing dream. The next morning her eyes were red from crying. I heard her speaking to my father, explaining her dream. I saw our whole family in America, and I was very sick, but you were not there. My father tried to calm her. You're overthinking again. It was just a dream. Still, we all felt a heavy sadness in our hearts when we said goodbye to the land we had lived on for so long. We reached America, stayed at our aunt's place for a week, and then moved to our new rented villa in Orange County. Dad's job was there, so this was the best location for us. The neighborhood was clean, well maintained, and peaceful, typical of American suburban communities. But the particular street where our villa was located, it always felt strangely silent. Several houses around ours were empty. Others seemed to have people living in them, but we rarely saw anyone outside. The night we moved into the house, we were all exhausted. The electricity was working, the place was clean, but something felt strange. That night, all of us felt an unusually heavy sleep. My little sister Aisha, who was just 7 years old, woke up crying in the middle of the night. We had no idea that this house was haunted, but one thing was clear: none of us felt happy here. My mom kept waking up at night, frightened. Later, she confessed that she kept seeing strange dreams. She saw people living in the house, someone cooking in the kitchen, children running around and playing, and all of them were wearing our clothes. But she never saw their faces, just their silhouettes, shapes, movements, as if someone else was living in our place, using our belongings. Whenever mom woke up panic stricken, she would open the closet and everything would be in its place. Sometimes she would stay awake the whole night, praying quietly. The first 10 days were extremely difficult. It felt like we had been living there for 10 months. My aunt visited us often. We didn't have many relatives in the US except a few close family friends, and some maternal relatives lived far away, some even back in Pakistan. Dad talked to us every day on video call. Mom had hired a housekeeper. Her name was Rosanna. She was fast and efficient in her work, but she had one problem: her phone. Every free moment, she would be on call with her fiance. My mom really disliked this habit, but Rosanna would stay away from her as much as possible. Anyway, days kept passing. 2 months had already gone by, and Dad kept saying he'd arrive any day now. Yet, his arrival kept getting delayed. Nothing dangerous had happened so far. Mom had made a few acquaintances in the neighborhood, and more families had started moving into the nearby homes as well. One day, Mom wasn't feeling well. She had become unusually irritable lately. That day, we were at school. Rosanna arrived as usual, and Mom gave her the list of daily chores, then went to her room and lay down. She had taken her medicine, so she fell asleep for about 3 to 4 hours. When she woke up suddenly, she sat upright, worried that Rosanna must have messed up the work again. But when she stepped outside her room, she froze. The whole house was spotless. The kitchen counters were shining. Rosanna was calmly making tortillas, just like every day. Mom quietly opened the fridge and drank some water. But Rosanna looked at her with confusion and said, "Ma'am, you came home just a little while ago. When did you go back inside? You were here." Mom frowned and replied, "I was sleeping the whole time." Rosanna's face turned pale. She stepped back and said, "Please don't joke with me. You didn't let me sit even for a minute. You checked every room yourself. Look, I finished all the chores." Mom said nothing after that. She understood something was wrong, but she didn't want to discuss it with Rosanna. Later, she told Dad about it, but Dad didn't believe anything. "Don't listen to everything the maid says," he told her, brushing it off. His response upset Mom even more. For the next few days, nothing unusual happened. Mom became more cautious now. We were a religious family. Prayers and Quran were a daily routine. One evening, Mom took Aisha to the nearby park. She drove the car herself.